Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to be showcasing three different stamp sets from Kitchen Sink Stamps. This first one is called Kittens and Pup. As you can see, each stamp set comes with a stamp alignment guide. This is to help you to align your layers perfectly to get that finished product where your stamped images actually look like photographs. If you go to the Kitchen Sink Stamps website, you can download these stamp alignment guides, but like I said, one does come with every stamp sold. But I like to print these off, and I also like to print these color recipe guides. So basically on the Kitchen Sink Stamp website, you can download these and print them off on your own printer. And I like to print mine off on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper and then put them in a 3-ring binder. But what I'm saying is it gives you different colors of inks that you can choose if you have a certain color of puppy in mind. So maybe you want a brown puppy or a black puppy or a red puppy or red kittens. This gives you an idea of what stamps to use. Now my printer is about out of ink, so it's not a blue kitten. It's supposed to be like a gray or black. But I'm just showing this to you because it gives you a lot of different options on how you can color your little critters. Now again, this is called the Kittens and Pup, and I'm going to show you a trick. When you get your stamp sets, you want to take and place your stamps on this color ID card. And so you're going to put the color ID film face down on your desk, and then you're going to go ahead and peel off all of the little stamps and put them on the rear facing of the color ID card. The reason why it's so important that you put it on the back, because if you put it on the front, the laser printing will transfer to your photopolymer stamp, and you don't want that. And if it does happen, it's okay. It's not going to affect the quality of your stamping. It's just you might want to get a little bit of rubbing alcohol or hand sanitizer to clean that off. But I do this with every kitchen sink stamp set that I have. As soon as I open them up, I do this. And then I have it ready to go, and it's so much easier for me then to just grab it and start card making. So now you'll see I have them all on there. And what's nice about this ID card, it gives you an idea of which one layer is the darkest, which one is the lightest, and so on. All right, so I am using a stamp positioning tool, and I'm starting with the number 4. So each critter in this stamp set has 4 layers. You can start with layer number 1 if you'd like, but I like to go backwards. The reason I like to start backwards is because number 4 layer is your darkest layer. It also has quite a bit of detail, whereas number 1 layer is your lightest and least detailed layer. So I would suggest if you have this stamp set at home and you're trying to figure out the best way to get the images to look that 3D effect, start with layer number 4. And I used VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink for that base layer. What's nice about it is from this point you can basically color your cats, your kittens, and your dog any color. But having that dark base helps to make sure things get lined up very well. All right, so I'm using alt new inks. I've got some brown inks and some gray inks. Gentleman's Gray is the collection, and Coffee Break is the brown collection. And I'm just getting everything lined up here. I'm taking out the darkest color because I feel that I already have the darkest color laying down. So I start with Gray Denim, which in that series is like the next to the darkest. But then I'm realizing that my ink is kind of beating up on me a little bit. So I grab my Versamark and I'm using that on my stamp for the first time that I use it. It helps to keep the ink clinging to the photopolymer. Photopolymers, when you get them, they have sometimes a little bit of a film left over from the production process. Okay, so I've already stamped the kittens with mocha, and I also have already stamped the dog with gray denim. Now I'm going in to another layer. This is the first time that I've used this layer, so I am going to ink it first with Versamark. I'm just lining them up, and your stamp alignment guide will give you all sorts of hints on where to align them, what little points. With these, it's not that hard because you just need to line them up by the nose and the tail and the ears. Alright, so I just grabbed Rocky Shores for the brown and Silver Lake for the gray. So for the pup, I used Silver Lake. For the kittens, I used Rocky Shore. So I'm building a nice layering image here. This is my last stamp, so this is number 1, and it's got the least amount of detail, but it is going to be your last step. And this, I like to use the lightest color, starting with Versamark, and I go to Cloudy Night for the pup, and then I go Desert Sand Dune for the kittens. And then I realized with my ink, I got them mixed up. But he still looks so cute. That little puppy is so cute. I thought that Cloudy Night was the lightest gray ink, but it's actually Silver Lake. Okay, so I'm thinking, no problem. I'll just do it. I'll just do it again. So I grab layer number 4. I take my Versamark and I stamp it with charcoal, which is part of the, it's called Charcoal Suit, and it's part of that alt new grays. So instead of using the Versamark Nocturne, I'm just using the straight alt new inks. Then I grab the gray denim, Cloudy Night. I'm getting my colors out of order. You want to keep them in order. You can number them 1, 2, 3, 4, with 4 being the darkest on your little ink pads. Okay, this is called gray denim. This is layer number 4, 3, 2. This would be layer number 2, and then layer number 1 is Silver Lake, which is the lightest gray in this set. And then I'm going to slow the video down and give you a close-up so you can see the difference. Now I do have this on fast forward because I'm very slow when I'm crafting and making cards and stamping. But you can see how realistic it is. It's almost as if you took a little picture of like these 2 little kittens, this little puppy dog. It doesn't even look like a stamped image. It looks like a real photograph. It's amazing. These stamps are incredible. Now, unfortunately, the Kittens and Pup, it's a retired stamp set. You can't buy it anymore off of Kitchen Sink Stamps, but I am going to show you some other stamp sets that are available that give you some choices and options for Valentine's Day. Even though you can't get this set, I will encourage you, if you've never heard of Kitchen Sink Stamp, if you've never looked at their stamps, they have such adorable critters. There's this one set with the bunny rabbit. It's so cute. And there's a teddy bear one. So even if you can't get the kittens and the pup, I'm sure you'll find some cute little critter you'll fall in love with from the variety of animals that they offer with their stamp sets. I just went over the color recipe print-offs again. That's really what I was just showing as I was just speaking with you. One of the things that you can get from Kitchen Sink Stamps is SVG. And what I'm going to show you here is if you're having trouble aligning this stamp set, you can always go and get your SVG and use that as a guide to help you. So when you go to buy any stamp off a Kitchen Sink Stamp, you have the option of getting the SVG file for free. What does that mean? Well, traditionally, stamp companies try to sell dies to go with their stamps, and then you run it through the die cut machine. But that's not necessary if you have the SVG file. If you have an electronic cutting machine, so I have a Scan and Cut, or you have a Cricut, or even a Joy, or a Silhouette, any of those SVG files will work. And what you're doing is you're basically cutting out the outline of the critter, in this case, or whatever the stamp shape is. You're getting a nice base that you can just stamp right on top of. And then what I do is I keep the paper, the sort of like the template, and I just slide them in there. So I've got some double back tape. That's what I was using, that purple tape. It's a removable adhesive. And then I'm just going to show you this yellow tape I got off of Spellbinders. It's really great for crafting. It's better than washi tape. And I'll have it linked below. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's some kind of crafting tape from Spellbinders. But what I did was I took the repositionable adhesive tape, taped the bottom of my stamped cutout image, and then I stuck it inside this little template. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle. You're basically putting the paper back down in where it came from. And what this is going to allow you to do then is it's going to help you sort of figure out where to line things up with your multi-layer stamp. You don't have to do it this way, but I like doing it this way. So I'm using VersaFine Clara Nocturne ink, and I'm going to get that base layer down. This is layer number 4 for both the kittens and the pup. You can see how the template helps you, it's going to help you with your layers after your first layer, because you want to line it up to the point where it just kind of locks right in, just like a puzzle piece. So there is a benefit of doing the SVG files. Plus, it's like getting a die cut for free. The reason why I say it's free, so when you go to purchase your kitchen sink stamps, you want to put your SVG file in the cart when you go to buy your stamps. And then when you go to check out, the SVG files are 100% free. So basically, you're paying for your stamp set, you're getting your SVG file for free. Now, if for some reason you forget to put the SVG file in your cart when you check out, you can always email Kitchen Sink Stamps, let them know. But they're 99 cents otherwise, so extremely affordable when you consider most die sets that go with stamp sets cost at least $15, if not more. So definitely, when you get your kitchen sink stamps, throw that SVG in there in your cart. You won't regret it if you have an electronic die cutting machine. So yeah, dies are not sold with these stamps, but you can get the free SVG files. And I'm not really sure what layer I'm on right now, but I'm using the same inks that I used previously. I'm making the puppy brown, and I'm making the kittens brown. So I'm using the brown inks from Alt New. I have a set of 4 brown inks and a set of 4 gray inks. But you can use any kind of inks. You can use Catherine Pooler inks, Memento inks, there's VersaFine Claire inks. There's just so many inks that you can use, and I've used all kinds of inks with kitchen sink stamps. I just use what I have. And, I'm really, really pleased with how realistic these look. You're going to see close up when I bring my hand up to my camera and I have it slowed down here so you can see. I think those kittens turned out great. Look at their little eyes. That kind of detail from a stamp set? Are you kidding me? Look at that little puppy. You can see the fur on his body. That's what makes kitchen sink stamps so impressive. The fact that you can use these multi-layering stamps And when you have a finished product, it looks as if you cut something out of a photograph. It's so realistic and so three-dimensional. And Kitchen Sink Stamps has a ton of different types of stamps that you can choose from. It's one of my favorite stamp companies. Using the color recipe guide, I was able to stamp another set of Kittens and Pup using Memento inks with orange and red inks. And these little guys look like they have like orangish reddish fur, which I'm going to show you as soon as I can get the kittens out of their little puzzle here. I'm going to put it up to the camera so you can get a closer look at it. Those turned out so cute. And then I'm going to take my black marker and just go around the edge because just the way that I stamped, there was a little bit of extra white on the side there. And really all the black is doing is just camouflaging that white edge a little bit. Now that I have all my little puppies and kittens stamped out, I'm going to grab the Sweetheart Roses stamp set. I've got my stamp alignment guide and my color recipe ideas. This stamp set comes with one large heart, which has 4 layers, and then a smaller heart that has 4 layers as well as a bunch of cute little sayings and sentiments and hearts that are tiny that you can use. So what I have here is Sweet Plum by Memento, and I'm stamping my layer number 4, which is my most detailed and my darkest layer, with Sweet Plum. I stamped 3 of those hearts across the front of my card panel. For my next layer, I grabbed Lilac Posies, and I'm lining that up with a stamp block. This one I found I didn't have to use a stamp positioning tool. So a lot of people don't use a stamp positioning tool for multi-layer stamps. I think the more you practice with them, the more you're feeling more confident using just a stamping block. But really, it's your own personal preference, and whatever you're comfortable with is fine. My next layer, I'm going to use Rhubarb Stalk by Memento. This is actually layer 2. So I started with layer 4, then layer 3, layer 2 is what I'm doing right now. Layer 4 was Sweet Plum, layer 2 was Lilac Posy, and layer 3 is Rhubarb Stalk. Stalk? S-T-A-L-K, stalk. Now I didn't go and put layer 4 on. You could put layer 4 on using Ladybug, but I just thought those looked so pretty the way they were. I just left them with just 3 of the layers. Now there's another awesome stamp set. It's called Love for Ducky and Teddy, and it's got a lot of Valentine's Day sentiments. So I grabbed the Valentine's Day sentiment that says Be My Valentines, and I'm using Versifying Clara Memento ink just to stamp that down underneath those hearts. And now I'm just figuring out my placement of my adorable little kittens and puppies, and I'm trying to decide if I want to put 3 or 2, and I decide to go with the puppy that's kind of like gray and black, and the kittens that are like black and brown. Those are the ones that I picked out. I'm going to use some pop dots to pop them up and give them a little bit of dimension. I'm also going to use a red card base. After all, this is a Valentine's Day card, so we've got to bring in that red card base. I think that looks really nice. Okay, I spared you having to watch me put pop dots on the back of my puppy and kittens because, like I told you, I am a slow crafter. I do not rush. I take my time, and I didn't want you to have to watch me or a video of me trying to put the pop dots on the back of my stamped images. So I'm just kind of like getting things together here, and I'm figuring that I still need to put a little something on this card, because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what else can I do? Well, you can see that I stamped on the back of this panel, but that doesn't matter because you're not going to see that. So I go ahead and I apply my tape along the back of my panel, and I put my panel down on my card base. This is an A2 size card base. It measures 5.5 by 4.25. And then I go ahead and grab the Sweetheart Roses stamp set that I used earlier to stamp those beautiful roses. And I get a couple of the really cute sentiments off of there. So some of the sentiments, I'm going to read them to you. Be mine, love you, sweetheart, hugs and kisses. Hand stamped, it's so cute, it has like a little heart. And then XOXO and more little hearts. Okay, so I decide that I'm going to go ahead and put a couple little sentiments above the hearts. I just think the space looks too white and I want to add something to it. So I used VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and stamped hugs, love you, and kisses on the top of this card panel. And I also stamped some hearts, because just some little hearts, sort of like confetti. And I'm going to show you that at the end of this video, which we're almost done. At the end of this video, I have some still photography of the card that I made, and you can see the little hearts in the background. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching my video. For Jean, who requested this, I hope this helped you as you are working on your cards with this wonderful stamp set. In my description box below, I will have links to kitchen sink stamps, and I will have a direct link where you can go to Kitchen Sink Stamps and purchase these stamp sets, with the exception of the Kittens and Pup, because that is retired. I hope that you all have a wonderful Valentine's Day, and I appreciate you stopping by my channel. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.